They want you soft. They want you distracted, addicted, scrolling through other men's victories while your own potential rots in silence. But that ends. Now, you're not here to live an average life. You're here to become untouchable. A man whose mind is sharper than, emotion whose power is quiet, whose discipline borders on obsession. These aren't self-help habits. These are weapons sharpened through repetition, forged in discomfort, designed to make you unpredictable, unemotional, and impossible to manipulate. Every day you either build your empire or betray it. There's no middle ground. The world respects power, not pity, and power is not given. It's earned habit by habit, until dominance becomes your default setting. So listen carefully, because after this, you'll never see yourself or the world the same way again. Comment this right now. I build empires. In silence. Let's begin. Number 1, control your mind. The weak man wakes up and immediately loses. His thoughts control him. His emotions dictate his actions, and the world bends him like wet clay. But the Machiavellian man wakes and observes. He watches his mind like a strategist watches a rival army, calculating every move, every weakness, every impulsive reaction that could be used against him. Control of the mind is the first and ultimate battlefield. Every day, you must train your mind to obey you. When you feel anger, you dissect it. When you feel fear, you analyze it. When you crave comfort, you deny it. Mastering your mind means mastering perception, seeing things as they are, not as you wish they were. Emotion is the leash that drags most men into ruin. Detach from it. Cold clarity creates power. People who can't control their emotions will always be controlled by those who can. So practice mental stillness, practice restraint, practice silence. You must become the calm eye in the storm while others drown in chaos. Comment this right now. My mind obeys me, not my emotions. Because the first habit of power is mental dominance. Without that, every other habit collapses. Control your thoughts. Control your fate. Number 2, command your time. Time is the one currency every man is born rich in, but dies bankrupt. The foolish man spends his hours like loose change, scattered on trivial pleasures and meaningless conversations. The Machiavellian man treats every minute as a weapon forged to expand his influence and sharpen his power. He understands that wasting time is the purest form of self-betrayal. Every second you give to distraction, you feed weakness. Every moment you give to focus, you feed dominance. To command your time is to declare war on chaos. Schedule your day like a general planning a conquest. Precise, intentional, ruthless. Cut out idle entertainment. Limit mindless talk. Build a fortress of solitude around your hours. When others chase instant gratification, you invest in delayed mastery. Power grows in the shadows of disciplined repetition, not in the noise of public approval. Those who command time command perception. Those who command perception control power. You must learn to move in silence, to work when others rest, to execute when others hesitate. Stop waiting for motivation. It's the trap of the mediocre. Move by principle, not by feeling. A true strategist is addicted to progress, not comfort. He knows that time management is not about calendars. It's about control. Control over your focus, your energy, your purpose. Wake up early. Move with intention. Eliminate distraction like it's poison, because it is. Every wasted hour dilutes your potential. Every focused hour compounds your authority. Treat time like a ruthless accountant, measuring the cost of every action, every word, every moment. Remember, people who can't control their time will always work for those who can. Comment this right now. My time is my weapon. Because every day you either build your empire with purpose or hand your power to those who don't deserve it. Time is not just passing, it's watching you. Command it, or it will command you. Number 3, master your emotions. Emotions are the strings that puppeteers use to control men who think they are free. The Machiavellian man cuts those strings and learns to move only when he decides. Rage, jealousy, fear, love. Each one is a potential weakness if left unchecked. To master your emotions is to master your reactions, and in that control lies silent power. The world provokes you daily, testing your composure, seeking cracks in your armor. Most men break at the first insult, the first rejection, the first failure. But the strategist smiles unshaken because he knows that emotions are tools, not chains. He uses anger as fuel, pain as clarity, rejection as redirection. The one who remains calm when others panic holds the advantage in every situation: business, relationships, war. Stoicism is not apathy. It is weaponized restraint. It is the ability to choose logic over impulse, purpose over pleasure. When you are emotionally stable, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Others cannot read you, cannot control you, cannot anticipate your moves. That is the essence of psychological warfare. Every day practice emotional detachment. Observe your feelings as an outsider. Name them, understand them, but never surrender to them. The calm man can walk through fire and never flinch. He studies chaos like a scientist, not a victim. When someone insults you, respond with silence. When life tests you, answer with composure. You will notice that people start to respect your quiet dominance because emotional control radiates authority. Remember this: he who angers you conquers you. Don't give anyone that satisfaction. Comment this right now: I am unshaken, unbroken, and unreadable. Because emotional mastery is not softness. It is the highest form of power. Those who control their emotions control the battlefield. Every day, temper your inner storms until your calm becomes your weapon and your silence becomes your statement. Number 4, build unbreakable discipline. Discipline is the dividing line between men who dream and men who dominate. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall that cages your potential. The Machiavellian man destroys that wall through relentless consistency. He doesn't wait for motivation because he knows motivation is fleeting, weak, emotional. Discipline is cold, mechanical, unstoppable. It moves without feeling, without hesitation, without permission. When you build unbreakable discipline, you no longer depend on moods. You depend on mission. Every morning you rise before the world, not because you want to, but because you must. You train, you plan, you execute. You move through pain as if it's air. You reject comfort like poison, because you know that every moment of comfort weakens the edge of your blade. Discipline is what turns potential into power, dreams into empires, chaos into control. You must become your own commander, your own executioner, your own savior. The world is full of talented men who never became great because they lack consistency. But the disciplined man, he becomes inevitable. He outlasts, outworks, and outwills everyone around him. While others negotiate with weakness, he commands himself with precision. You must create systems so strong that failure becomes unnatural, routine becomes ritual, repetition becomes religion. The Machiavellian man sees self-discipline not as punishment, but as self-respect. It is the ultimate declaration of power over the inner animal that craves laziness and distraction. You build discipline, one decision at a time. When you wake early, when you resist temptation, when you follow through on what you said, you do even when no one's watching. Each act of discipline is a brick in your fortress of dominance. One day that fortress becomes unshakable and nothing, no woman, no loss, no failure can penetrate it. Comment this right now: my discipline is my freedom. Because that's the truth the weak can't face. Discipline doesn't restrict you. It frees you. It frees you from regret, from guilt, from mediocrity. Every day, forge your will in the fire of repetition until action becomes instinct, until effort becomes your nature, until the world recognizes the precision in your movements and the power in your silence. Build discipline, and you'll never need motivation again. Number 5, master the art of silence. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. The Machiavellian man understands that in a world addicted to noise, The one who speaks least holds the most power. Words are currency, and the weak spend them recklessly, desperate to be heard, desperate to prove their worth. But power does not shout. It observes, calculates, and speaks only when victory is guaranteed. To master the art of silence is to weaponize mystery. You must become the man no one can read, the one who says little but implies everything. In every room, let others expose their thoughts, their insecurities, their vanity, while you collect information like a predator tracking prey. The less you reveal, the harder it is for anyone to use you. Silence shields your strategy, masks your ambition, and confuses your enemies. People fear what they don't understand, and silence makes you unpredictable. When you speak, make it deliberate. Every word should hit like a blade, cutting through nonsense with precision. Learn to love the discomfort of quiet rooms. That is where the real power breathes. Silence gives you time to think, to watch, to plan, to read the weaknesses of others while they talk themselves into exposure. The emotional man fills silence with noise to escape his own thoughts. The powerful man sits calmly within it, sculpting his next move. You must learn to listen with intensity, not just to words, but to tones, pauses, and patterns. The truth is always hidden between the lines, and the man who listens deeply can control any conversation without saying a thing. Remember, in negotiation, the one who speaks least always wins. In conflict, the one who controls his tone controls the outcome. In relationships, the one who withholds reaction controls the frame. Your silence should make people question your thoughts, your motives, your power. Let them wonder. Let them fear what you might be planning. Silence breeds influence because mystery breeds obsession. The more you reveal, the more you reduce your leverage. So learn to communicate with presence, not noise. Let your energy speak before your words ever do. Comment this right now. My silence speaks louder than words. Because silence is not weakness. It is dominance in disguise. It is how emperors ruled, how predators hunted, how legends endured. Every day, speak less, observe more, and let your stillness become your language. When your silence holds weight, your words become law. Number 6, embrace strategic solitude. Solitude is not loneliness. It is refinement. The Machiavellian man knows that the greatest empires are not built in crowds, but in silence, away from the noise of the ordinary. In solitude, you strip away illusions. You confront yourself without masks, without distraction, without applause. The weak fear solitude because it exposes them. They realize how little control they have over their own mind. But the strong crave it because they understand that silence is the forge where true identity is tempered. Every great strategist, every ruler, every thinker withdrew from the herd to sharpen his clarity. When you are alone, you are dangerous because your focus is undivided. You begin to see how the world truly operates. Who manipulates, who obeys, who hides behind masks of morality. Solitude gives you detachment, and detachment gives you power. In isolation, you learn to think 10 moves ahead, to detach from social validation, to understand that most men seek company because they fear their own emptiness. You must reverse that instinct. Seek solitude daily. Build rituals that separate you from the chaos. Long walks, late nights, quiet mornings. In those moments, ideas form, discipline solidifies, purpose sharpens. The man who spends time alone becomes unpredictable, immune to manipulation, immune to approval. When you can be alone without needing anyone, you become ungovernable. People lose power over you because they cannot offer what you no longer crave. You must learn to guard your solitude like a fortress. Not everyone deserves access to your presence. In solitude, plan, strategize, and cultivate emotional detachment. Read deeply, reflect brutally. Write your ambitions like commandments. Observe the patterns of your own behavior until weakness has nowhere to hide. The Machiavellian man uses solitude to rebuild himself into something colder, smarter, more deliberate. Remember, lions hunt alone, Only sheep move in herds. Comment this right now. I am forged in solitude because the man who embraces isolation becomes a weapon the world cannot comprehend. Use solitude as your training ground for greatness. When you walk alone long enough, your footsteps start to echo with authority, and soon the world starts to listen, even when you say nothing. Number 7, cultivate calculated indifference. Indifference is not weakness, it is control at its highest form. The Machiavellian man does not react to life. He dictates the pace of it. Every glance, every silence, every refusal to engage is a calculated move on the chessboard of power. Most men live like exposed wires. Any spark of emotion ignites them, and they burn out quickly. But the man who practices calculated indifference becomes untouchable. He moves through conflict without flinching, through insult without response, through chaos without losing rhythm. Indifference is a psychological shield. It protects your mind from manipulation and your emotions from decay. It allows you to see clearly when others are blinded by impulse. When people seek to provoke you, understand this. They are begging for control. They want your reaction because your reaction is your surrender. When you stay calm, you starve them of power. When you stay silent, you destroy their illusion of influence. The indifferent man does not chase. He attracts. He does not argue. He observes. He does not explain. He executes. His calmness is terrifying because it cannot be read. The world expects noise from the strong and panic from the weak. But when you give neither, you create uncertainty. And uncertainty is dominance. Calculated indifference is not about feeling nothing. It is about mastering when and how to feel. You must train yourself to analyze emotion as if it were data, useful but never sacred. When anger arises, dissect it. When fear whispers, study it. When desire tempts, delay it. Reaction is slavery. Restraint is sovereignty. The indifferent man is not cold because he lacks heart. He is cold because he guards it like a vault. His emotions serve his goals, never the other way around. You must learn to let people talk, criticize, insult, and praise without ever letting their words pierce your mental armor. Every reaction they expect from you becomes an opportunity to stay silent, to hold power, to remind them that you cannot be manipulated. When others panic, you pause. When others rush, you wait. When others seek attention, you vanish into focus. You become the ghost in the room, the observer who sees everything and reveals nothing. This is how power consolidates quietly. The man who can remain calm while everyone else loses control inevitably becomes the one they depend on. Fear and obey. Indifference also frees you from external validation. Praise no longer excites you, and criticism no longer wounds you. You begin to operate in a state of internal command. Everything you do by choice, not reaction. You must practice emotional detachment like a ritual. Sit in silence. Watch your impulses. Resist the need to respond. Every moment of restraint strengthens your dominance. Let others drown in their emotional tides while you walk calmly through the storm. Indifference is not apathy. It is power purified of desperation. The Machiavellian man does not hate or love easily because both create dependency. He studies people as assets, alliances, and threats, never as saviors. When people realize they cannot control you emotionally, they either respect you or fear you, and both serve your purpose. Indifference is how you win battles without fighting. You let others waste energy on proving, defending, explaining, while you conserve yours for strategy and conquest. Remember, in a world where everyone is addicted to reaction, the man who masters silence becomes divine. You must be able to look into the eyes of chaos and smile. You must understand that not every insult deserves an answer. Not every emotion deserves expression. Not every conflict deserves your presence. Walk away when you must, but do so without bitterness. Your silence should feel like judgment. Your composure, like threat. Indifference is elegance wrapped in danger. When you stop caring about how others perceive you, you unlock a level of freedom that terrifies them. The world bows to the man who cannot be provoked because he is impossible to control. Comment this right now. Nothing moves me. Nothing controls me. Let that phrase become your creed. Let indifference become your discipline. Each day, detach a little more from the chaos of others until their noise fades into background static. Be still. Be precise. Be unreadable. When you master calculated indifference, you no longer chase power. Power begins to orbit around you. Number 8, turn pain into power. Pain is the purest form of truth, the only teacher that never lies, the only voice that doesn't flatter your ego. The Machiavellian man does not run from pain. He studies it, absorbs it, converts it into energy so potent that it fuels his dominance. Every wound you carry is potential power, waiting to be harnessed. Weak men collapse under suffering because they misunderstand it. They think pain is punishment, when in reality it is refinement. The man who understands this becomes unstoppable because nothing external can destroy what has already been forged in internal fire. Every betrayal, every failure, every humiliation is data. The Machiavellian mind dissects it without emotion, extracting lessons that others are too broken to see. Pain exposes your limits. Power begins when you shatter them. To suffer consciously is to train your soul in the art of control. The world fears pain because it cannot be controlled, but you, the strategist, embrace it because it teaches you control. When pain comes, don't seek comfort, seek comprehension. Ask, what is this teaching me about my weakness? Then crush that weakness until it no longer exists. When you learn to love discomfort, you become immune to manipulation because no threat can move the man who has mastered endurance. Physical pain, emotional pain, financial loss, rejection, these are not curses. They are raw materials. You must turn them into architecture. Every scar becomes armor. Every disappointment becomes discipline. Every defeat becomes data. You must condition your mind to interpret hardship as training. The weak look at pain and sees suffering. The Machiavellian man looks at pain and sees transformation. Your pain is not meant to break you. It's meant to carve the man you are meant to become. The more you endure without complaint, the more power you accumulate silently. Pain kills comfort, and comfort kills greatness. The world's strongest men have one thing in common. They faced pain without self-pity. They didn't cry about it. They weaponized it. They used it as leverage, as motivation, as evidence that they were built for more. You must learn to extract meaning from agony, the way alchemists extract gold from dirt. When you're betrayed, you gain wisdom. When you're rejected, you gain resilience. When you're humiliated, you gain hunger. When life burns you, thank it. It is shaping your mental callous. You can't fake strength. It's proven only through pain. The Machiavellian man uses pain as proof that he still has control over himself. When you stop running from it, you start ruling it. You stop fearing failure because you've learned to feed on it. That's why the strong are calm. They've already been through worse and survived. Your enemies want to see you break. Don't give them the satisfaction. Smile while burning. Walk forward through chaos. The man who thrives in discomfort becomes inevitable. Pain sharpens focus. Pain builds emotional armor. Pain kills delusion. You must let it destroy the version of you that depended on ease, and from those ashes you rise colder, sharper, and quieter. Comment this right now. My pain is my power, because when pain no longer controls you, nothing else can. Embrace every hardship as sacred preparation. Turn agony into awareness. Transmute suffering into strategy. When you learn to convert pain into strength, every failure becomes fuel, every scar becomes proof, and every loss becomes the foundation of your empire. The more you endure, the less the world can touch you. And when the world sees that, it stops trying. Number 9, guard your energy ruthlessly. Energy is the invisible currency of power, the silent force that builds empires or destroys them. The Machiavellian man understands that every interaction, every thought, every reaction either strengthens or drains his energy. He guards it with precision, with calculation, with ruthless discipline. Weak men give their energy away to every distraction, every argument, every emotional leech that craves attention. They gossip, they complain, they scroll endlessly, feeding parasites that consumed their focus. But the man who guards his energy is untouchable. He knows that focus is finite, that attention is life, and that the world is designed to steal both. Every pointless conversation, every emotional overreaction, every wasted hour is a thief. You must learn to see the world as a battlefield for your energy and protect it like a fortress. Under siege, your time, your presence, and your attention are privileges, not entitlements. Not everyone deserves access to them. You must withdraw from people who drain you, even if they call it coldness. You must detach from environments that lower your vibration, even if they disguise it as comfort. The Machiavellian man operates on efficiency. He does not move without purpose. Every task, every relationship, every pursuit must serve his long-term strategy. If it doesn't, it's eliminated. Guarding your energy doesn't mean isolation. It means filtration. You filter what enters your mind, what occupies your heart, what consumes your time. You must become deliberate about where your energy flows, because energy flows where attention goes, and attention builds empires. Protect your mornings as sacred. Begin each day in silence, setting your tone before the world tries to set it for you. Avoid meaningless chatter that pollutes your focus. Speak only when necessary. Act only when useful. Move only when it's time. Let others waste themselves on trivial pleasures and shallow validation while you invest your energy into evolution. The calm, focused man terrifies the chaotic because he cannot be baited. Every time you refuse to react, you conserve power. Every time you walk away from nonsense, you grow sharper. The less you engage in things that don't matter, the more unstoppable you become in things that do. Guarding your energy means understanding that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every invitation is worth accepting. Not every opportunity is worth pursuing. You must learn to say no, not as rejection, but as redirection. Every no you speak strengthens your empire's walls. Your energy is the foundation of your aura, and when it is scattered, you become weak. When it is concentrated, you become magnetic. People feel your energy before they hear your words. And when it is pure, stable, and deliberate, they cannot ignore you. The Machiavellian man radiates power not because he chases it, but because he preserves it. He wastes nothing, not thought, not time, not motion. You must move through the world like a king, surveying his land, aware that every decision either expands your territory or weakens it. Protect your focus like treasure, because it is. Comment this right now. My energy is my empire, because your energy determines your outcomes, your destiny, your dominance. The more you conserve it, the more you command it. The world belongs to the man who knows where to place his power, and that begins by refusing to waste it on anything beneath his purpose. Number 10. Become the architect of your legacy. Legacy is not built through words. It is carved through relentless action and silent domination. The Machiavellian man lives every day as if history is watching, as if each decision adds a stone to the monument of his existence. Most men drift, consumed by distraction and comfort, forgetting that time erases the forgotten. But the strategist understands that life is a chessboard, and every move either builds or destroys his legend. You must decide right now whether you will leave echoes of greatness or traces of mediocrity. To build a legacy, you must think long-term, beyond emotion, beyond vanity. Every habit, every alliance, every silence must serve your empire's architecture. The legacy-driven man doesn't chase fame. He engineers influence. He knows that true power is not in being seen, it's in being remembered. When you act, do so with precision. When you speak, let your words outlive you. When you work, Move as if your name depends on it, because it does. Legacy is built through mastery of self, through discipline that becomes legend, through control that breeds respect. You must detach from the temporary and dedicate yourself to the eternal. Your daily habits become the blueprints of your empire. Protect your reputation like gold, not through noise but through results. Never seek validation. Make your success undeniable. The Machiavellian man is not obsessed with appearing powerful. He is obsessed with becoming irreplaceable. Build systems, ideas, and results that endure when your body fades. Let others waste years chasing applause while you create impact that echoes for generations. The greatest revenge against mediocrity is permanence. Live deliberately, act strategically, and move with purpose so refined that every step feels inevitable. Comment this: right now, I am the architect of my legacy. Because your story is not written by chance. It's built by choice. Every hour you waste is a brick stolen from your monument. Every disciplined action is one more stone added to your throne. Remember, the Machiavellian man does not hope for immortality. He designs it. You are your own architect, sculptor, and ruler. Build yourself into something that cannot be ignored, cannot be erased, cannot be replaced. And when your empire stands tall, let your silence speak louder than any victory speech. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning of your transformation. Welcome to Machiavellian.